Yo, what is good? This is your boy, Vega, the Chosen, from thecryptonline.com, the HipHopHeads Podcast. This is the listening sesh. Welcome back. Glad to have you in 2025 if you're watching this, or listening to it for that matter, because you can stream it for audio only, or you can watch us on YouTube. So check us out there. At the thecryptonline.com and the Crypt Hip Hop Heads Podcast everywhere. All right. All of our stuff is uniform, so you know it's us. Today, we have another great episode for you. We're doing a hometown hero, Esoteric, and another hometown hero, 7L. Couple Boston guys by way of Beverly. Amazing artists, legends in the game. You might know them from Czarface. Okay. They had a release that dropped on Record Store Day this year, which I believe was on the 29th of November. Actually, last year, 2024. Okay. They drop an album, kind of out the cut, with the amazing and incredible Kool Keith. The album, them together, the trio, is called Stress Eater. The album is called Everybody Eats. Here's a little blurb for you. After endless requests for a Czarface and Dr. Octagon collaboration, the comic book inspired supergroup Czarface takes a turn for the cosmic, creating a funky, full length adventure with the spacey Kool Keith. When the record is playing, they become a counterpart character that can even give the mighty Czarface a run for his money. Stress Eater. You can expect a rich blend of what makes both acts so special. Block rocking beats and bizarre, mind bending lyricism, all served up with a cover from Czarface artist Lamar Supreme. Amazing. Let me give you a little tidbit on this album here, okay? Um, like I said, released in 2024. It's got 13 tracks on it, um, and two features. The two features are here. Ice-T, which is on track 3, Here's Some Homicide, and then you have my homie, friend of the show, our friend Mega Ran, all right, on track 12, on the track Aladdin's Castle. Banger. If you don't know what Aladdin's Castle is, that was an arcade back in the day, which you would often see at like malls and stuff like this. They had an Aladdin's Castle around here in, I think, the Manchester Mall of New Hampshire. And they may have had an Aladdin's Castle in the Pheasant Lane Mall in Nashua, New Hampshire as well. Don't quote me on that, but if memory serves me correct, that's where we had them around here in Boston. Was a frequent flyer of Aladdin's Castle and all the arcades because we used to just go and beat the shit out of everybody in Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. If you remember us from back then, hey, still fuck you, okay? We took your money. Anywho, let's get right to it. 13 tracks. Boom. Just once again, you got that kind of Czarface production sound 7L's going for on here. Esoteric is incredible. Lyrically, at the top of his game right now. Right up there with the Czarface stuff he's doing with the Inspector Deck. At first, when this came out, I was a little confused because I thought it was a Czarface meets Kool Keith just by the artwork and stuff like that. But it's not. It's its own thing. It's Stress Eater. Stress Eater is Kool Keith and 7L and Esoteric. Kind of like how Czarface is Inspector Deck and 7L and Esoteric. So similar concept here, but very different. The production on this by 7L, fantastic. Some of the best stuff he's ever done. He just keeps knocking it out of the park. I love the little sound samples that he has of Kool Keith throughout, because if you're not a Kool Keith fan or you don't follow Kool Keith, if you don't follow us who talks about Kool Keith quite often, it's just amazing stuff. This guy is just a fountain of amazing clips. This guy just says whatever's on his mind. And sometimes it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes it's quite outlandish. A lot of times it's very funny. And they sample a lot of that on here, and it just fits with the album perfect. Especially with like Everybody Eats, it's kind of got like, kind of a food sound to it. So, they always kind of incorporate that kind of stuff. Piece of Kool Keith and his pumpernickel bread. Amazing. I was saying that the two features on here, before I went off on a tangent about Aladdin's Castle, Ice T, rips a verse. I'm not always crazy about Ice T, but I thought that he did really dope on this. You don't hear from him often, so it's like really nice to hear him on this and going for it. And if you don't know, once again, Kool Keith and Ice T did an album together 25 years ago called The Analog Brothers. Amazing stuff. Incredible, just ridiculous. So it was nice to see him get back together with Kool Keith. It's just a crazy crazy friendship there. It's just like wild. Like I just imagine Kool Keith hanging with Ice-T and just incredible stuff happening. Um and then going down, like I said, the verse you have on track 12, Aladdin's Castle, featuring my guy Mega Ran. Incredible track, all about, video game related. Kool Keith spits a nasty verse on this one. Esoteric, obviously, always brings the pain, and then freaking Mega Ran's that lead off batter just crushes it and sends everybody around the bases. Just wraps it up beautifully. Just an incredible track. He drops The Secret of Evermore on there, one of my favorite games, which I've mentioned, has been documented. Um, but yeah, what a great album. Now, sometimes, especially with Kool Keith, he is constantly working. He does a lot of stuff. Okay, he's released dozens of albums over the years. Granted, now he's been around since like 1985. He's since ultramagnetic. Ultramagnetic MCs. So he's a legend in the game. If you're not familiar with Kool Keith, just incredible. His body of work is unmatched with his generation. Just incredible stuff always from him, but also very interesting, very weird, very different. Everything he does doesn't sound like the last thing. He's probably most famous for, ultramagnetic MCs and then the Dr. Octagon stuff. Um, e- Especially Dr. Octagon is like a classic, for anyone who kind of listens to hip hop, especially underground hip hop. As a teenager or whatever, that was like our album. We went crazy for it, and that's like kind of, and that's not where I got put onto Kool Keith, but that was like just like stamped him as like just being a legend and a goat. This album, and once again, like I was saying, like some of his stuff, it kind of varies in quality. Either in if you're not like with Kool Keith and understand Kool Keith, you might think that some of his stuff is just not great. And don't get me wrong, I don't love all of his music. There's stuff that I don't enjoy, I didn't get, but for the most part, I really enjoy Kool Keith, but you never know what you're gonna get. It could be the best stuff you've ever heard. It could be the worst stuff you ever heard. No disrespect to the master Kool Keith, but on this, I was kind of a little worried. Is Kool Keith gonna bring it? Sure, fuck yeah, he did. He killed it. Every track he's on, just incredible, coherent as far as as you can get with Kool Keith. Rhyming really dope, on beat, all the things that you expect, that you want from him, he does, and he does it all. He gets weird, he gets interesting, he raps ill, he does all the things, just really fire, and he just floated on all these 7L beats. Amazing stuff. Esoteric too, just just brings it. It's also been documented that, Esoteric is a gigantic Kool Keith fan, so I can't even imagine what it was like for him to, build this album with him, as well as 7L. Just he brought it, he knew what was in for, and just, came weird with it and funky and just the way I wanted it. This album was dope front to back. I just knocked my ass off, knocked me off my ass. Incredible stuff. I've gave it many spins. I have to say, one of my favorite albums of 2024. Definitely in my top 10. I think you need to check this out. Also, the album artwork, incredible stuff. Uh just really, really check this album out. I can't suggest it any more. If I were to give it a rating out of 5 from me, your boy, Vega, I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5. Just a banger front to back. One of my favorites of 2024. You need to check this out. Sorry we're a little late on it. I'm lazy and I also have a lot going on, So I can't get into the listening sesh like I would like to. Um, but hopefully you'll see more from me in 2025. But one thing you should definitely do in 2025 is check out Stress Eater Everybody Eats. Also check out thecryptonline.com. Support us in all that we do. You can check us out at the Hip Hop Heads Podcast. It's me, Bonafide, and Kung Fu Drew, the supervisor. Sometimes Ben Nice is in there. We're gonna try to get more episodes out because last, 2024, we're slacking a little bit. We're gonna give it back to the culture. We got some other stuff coming through the pipelines too that we're working on. So a lot of things. Check us out. I'm your boy Vega. This was Stress Eater. 4.5 out of 5-star album. Check that stuff out. Check me out at thecryptonline.com, thehiphophheads.org, Hip Hop Heads Podcast. Find us anywhere. We're also now on YouTube. Every episode gets uploaded to YouTube unless they take us down. So you'll have to find the audio version elsewhere if that's the case. But you can find us on YouTube. All the listening session episodes are videoed and put up on the site, as you can see here. We appreciate your support. This is your boy Vega. We'll check you later. One. Peace.